4 years ago, Lila Monroe's life ended in fire and betrayal. She was 7 months pregnant, humming softly in her small apartment kitchen, dusted in flour, decorating a cake for her unborn daughter. Outside, her husband Ethan Ward's car was gone. She thought the night would be peaceful. She thought she was safe. She was wrong. Ethan had always seemed perfect. Tall, easy smile, voice that could calm any fear. He had promised love, security, a future Lila had dreamed of. "We're unstoppable together," he whispered the night they moved into their first apartment. She had believed him. She had trusted him with her heart, her life, and now with her baby. Trust, Lila learned, can be deadly. Love can blind you. 3 weeks before the fire, Lila noticed Ethan's growing distance. He came home late, smelled faintly of cigar smoke and perfume that wasn't hers. When she asked where he had been, he smiled. "Business, baby. Just building our future." She wanted to believe him. She wanted to ignore the coldness creeping into his eyes. What Lila didn't know was that 3 blocks away, in a sleek high-rise overlooking downtown, Ethan was meeting Marissa Vale, beautiful, ambitious, and ruthless. She had grown up clawing for everything and wanted Ethan for herself. By extension, she wanted Lila's life. "You know she's pregnant, right?" Marissa said, her voice smooth and sharp. Ethan swallowed. I know. I'm doing what I have to." Marissa laughed softly. "And what's that exactly? Letting her live while taking everything she's built? Or eliminating her entirely?" Ethan's hand trembled. "We will figure it out. Soon." "Soon isn't fast enough," she said. "By the time she realizes, it will be too late. One night, one mistake, she's gone. Then we start over. Clean slate." Ethan nodded slowly, greed overtaking conscience. That night he lay beside Lila, listening to her soft breathing, feeling her hand on his chest. But a part of him was elsewhere, calculating, planning, plotting. The night of the fire, Lila moved around her apartment unaware. She lit a single candle, hummed the lullaby her mother had taught her, stirred a pot of soup, imagining her daughter's first taste. She paused, pressing her hand to her belly as the baby kicked. "Soon you'll meet the world," she whispered. Ethan kissed her cheek, whispered, "I'll be right back." Behind her back, he had disabled the smoke detectors, loosened gas lines, sent a final text to Marissa. Tonight, the explosion was sudden, deafening. Flames erupted, consuming everything. Lila screamed, but smoke stole her voice. Crawling toward the door, dragging herself through fire and debris, she fought every step, every breath, every heartbeat, and then she saw him. Ethan, calm, watching Marissa beside him. He didn't move, didn't call 911, didn't try to save her. Only whispered to her absence, "By sunrise, she'll be gone." But death had been waiting for the wrong person. Somewhere in the shadows, Gloria Simmons, retired detective, had seen everything. She ran through the chaos, dragged Lila from the inferno, and drove hours into the countryside to a hidden cabin. For 3 days, Lila drifted in and out of consciousness, whispering for her baby, screaming for Ethan. And in the dead of night, she gave birth prematurely. A tiny fighter, her first breath a miracle. Weeks later, Lila awoke, scars raw but spirit unbroken. Her daughter was alive. The woman who had been burned alive was gone. In her place stood someone forged in fire, survival, and rage. Months passed. Lila healed physically, but her mind sharpened. Every detail of that night was etched in memory. Ethan's calm face, Marissa's cruel smile, the betrayal that had tried to destroy her. Gloria trained her in self-defense, observation, and strategy. Lila learned to move like a shadow, to notice what others missed, to use fear as a weapon. Her anger became strength. Her survival became edge. When Lila finally returned to the city, she was unrecognizable. Platinum hair, toned, eyes cold and calculating, she walked with confidence. Ethan and Marissa, drunk on stolen success, didn't know she was alive. She watched them, memorized routines, noted weaknesses, waited. Her revenge began small. Anonymous tips about Marissa's illegal business deals. Leaked photos causing Ethan to be questioned by investors. Subtle manipulations, each perfectly calculated. Fear crept into their lives, but they didn't know why. Lila did. And she would wait for the right moment to strike directly. Ethan's arrogance was his undoing. He threw parties, flaunted wealth, smiled for cameras, never once suspecting the ghost of the woman he had left to die was watching, always calculating. Lila studied him, waiting. Each careless step became a thread in her web. Finally, the night of confrontation arrived. Ethan received an invitation to a high-profile gala, expecting Marissa by his side. But when they entered, the crowd gasped. There she stood, platinum hair catching the chandelier light, eyes sharp, aura commanding. Lila Monroe. Recognition hit Ethan like a punch. Marissa froze. Every plan, every betrayal, every ounce of stolen joy melted away under Lila's gaze. She didn't speak at first. She let silence work. Then she said, voice calm, deadly. You thought you could burn me out of existence. You thought I wouldn't survive. But here I am. And this time you will feel the fire. Chaos erupted. Secrets spilled. Lies came crashing down. Friends, allies, partners abandoned Ethan and Marissa. Investigations closed in. Their empire of deceit crumbled as Lila orchestrated every move with precision. She didn't just take back her life. She dismantled the world built on her pain. Her daughter, thriving and safe, became her anchor. The woman who had survived fire had forged a legacy no one could touch. Lila moved through their lives like a shadow. She exposed Marissa's secrets to investors, police, and the media. Every lie Marissa told became a weapon in Lila's hands. Ethan's wealth, once a shield, became a cage. He realized too late the price of betrayal. Lila didn't show mercy. Not because she wanted cruelty, but because she had learned that people who burn others alive cannot be trusted to live. Her revenge was surgical. Each move precise, leaving fear, doubt, and regret in its wake. Months turned into a year. Lila's reputation transformed. Where she had once been the soft, trusting wife, she was now untouchable, feared, respected. She had risen from ashes, a phoenix in flesh and blood, unstoppable. Finally, one quiet evening, she stood atop the rooftop of her rebuilt life, looking down at the city that had tried to take everything from her. The woman who had been left to die was gone. The woman who had survived, fought, and conquered remained. Some fires destroy. Some fires create. Lila Monroe had been both. And anyone who underestimated her would never make that mistake again. The smoke of the past no longer clouded her vision. Her daughter slept safely in her arms, the world finally hers to shape. The fire that had tried to take everything had instead forged something stronger. And the woman who had been burned alive would never be powerless again. If you walked beside me through this darkness, don't let go now. Subscribe. The next shadow already knows your name.